the dogs are going to bark. Hi guys, it's Carol. How are you? My my tripod broke, so I'm holding this with my arm. I've got another one coming from Amazon. Um, It'll be here Monday, I think. But anyway, that's why I'm holding my phone today. Um, this is probably going to be the most controversial video I'll ever make. I've always uh, said since I started making videos that I was not going to talk about politics or religion because that's just a can of worms I don't want to open. And possibly I shouldn't bring this one up today, but oh well. I'm having a hard time holding this. Let me see if I can do it that. I don't normally watch the news because it just doesn't do me any good with my depression to read about all the evil things in our world. And my goodness, there is plenty of evil things in our world. But this deal with the two Kansas women that were murdered in Oklahoma, they were murdered in the Oklahoma Panhandle, which is just like maybe 125 miles north of Amarillo. So I've gotten involved in watching all of that about the two women that were just murdered. Um, so I've been reading a lot of news. I don't really watch news on TV. But anyway, because I was interested in seeing if they caught the evil people that did this and what was happening with the whole situation, I also ran across other news that I normally would not see. And I don't want to discuss your feelings on these things or my feelings on these things. That's beside the point, how we feel about it. Just when I saw these news articles, I thought, now this is food for thought. And our world is crazy. Let me give you some screenshots of what I'm talking about. Hang on here. Now, while this is a serious topic, it's not serious like the things that I'm also going to mention. But let's start with this. So let me get this straight. I go to the grocery store and buy a pound of sliced ham in a plastic bag, a loaf of bread in a plastic bag, a gallon of milk in a plastic jug, a pack of napkins in plastic wrap, a store-made salad in a plastic tub, a plastic bottle of mustard and ketchup. But they won't give me a plastic bag to carry it home in because the plastic bag is bad for the environment? Yeah, I thought that was a little ironic. And here, we still get plastic grocery bags at the store, but I know a lot of you have to bring your own bag because they don't provide plastic bags. Okay, next. The Senate passes a package to deliver billion with a B, $95 billion in foreign aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. $95 billion in foreign aid. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, back at home, among the 74 million children living in the United States, 11 million live in poverty. 1 in 6 children under the age of 5, approximately 3 million children, were poor, the highest rate of any group. The pandemic forced children already in poverty deeper in poverty. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, counted 653,104 homeless Americans in its annual point-in-time report. I'm thinking that's a low number. 3 years ago, in 2021, the Census Bureau estimated that 38 million people in the United States live at poverty or below the poverty level. 38 million Americans. Of that, 5.8 million were people aged 65 years and older living in poverty. 5.8 million senior citizens. Okay. I'm sorry this got cut off, but that says 70% of single seniors struggle financially with their existing Social Security income. 40% are going to have to find work to make it. But yet, the Senate passed a bill to deliver $95 billion in foreign aid. $95 billion. Wow. Moving on to the teacher situation in the United States. There are currently 567,000 fewer educators in the American public school system today than there were before the pandemic. That was as of the 21-22 school year. Then, in February of 2024, about 54,000 teachers and other educational staff quit their job in the United States. In February of this year, 54,000 teachers and staff quit their job. I wonder why. Then I read this. A Missouri bill would put teachers who use trans kids' pronouns on the sex registry. Okay, I don't want to debate whether, I don't want to debate anything about trans kids. I'm not going there. But that teachers, if they use the pronouns the kids tell them they identify with, if a teacher uses that pronoun instead of the one they were assigned at birth, and heaven forbid, how do teachers know what they were assigned at birth? I hope they're not asking for proof. I'm just saying, if a child says he wants to be referred to as he or she, the Missouri legislatures want to put teachers on the sexual registry if they use the pronoun the child says they want to be referred to as. Okay, listen to this. A teacher in Missouri could be charged with a felony and put on the sex offender registry for using they/them pronouns for a student if the student asks them to use that pronoun. It's not the same issue, but back in 4th grade, I asked my teachers to refer to me as Carol instead of my first name. Carol's my middle name. They said, okay. They didn't ask me, well, what's on your birth certificate? They basically just said, if you're more comfortable being called Carol, we will call you Carol. And that's how it happened. But in Missouri, oh my gosh, teachers would be subject to a $10,000 fine, imprisonment, and placement on the state sexual offender registry as a Tier 1 sexual offender. And then, given as sex offenders in Missouri are not allowed to reside within 500 feet of a school, the bill would essentially end their career. And yes, I realize referring to a child as they instead of he or she because the child asked them to is not the same as in 1964, me asking my teachers to call me Carol because that's what I was more comfortable with. But in 2024, if a child is more comfortable being referred to as they instead of he or she, the teacher can be imprisoned. I like what one teacher said. They said, I'm a chemistry teacher. I'm here to teach chemistry. My concern is that the child attends class, does their work, and is learning what I'm trying to teach them. I don't care what gender they were born with at birth. If they tell me they want to be called whatever, fine, as long as they're learning chemistry. Again, I don't want to get on the boat about should children be transgender, should there be any issue with transgender people. I don't want to go there. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is if a child wants to be called he, she, or they, and the teacher says, okay, if that's what you're comfortable with, I'll call you that so that I can teach you. And then the teacher can be imprisoned for saying that word, he, she, or they. I just find that crazy. But, that's just me. I'm just one person. That's just me. But I thought this was food for thought. And please don't shoot the messenger. Don't unsubscribe. I'm not telling you to be anything other than what you want to be. I'm not saying I push this agenda. I'm just saying we have a hard time getting good teachers. Let's don't put them in jail if they call a child what the child wants to be called. Like in 1964, I wanted to be called Carol instead of my first name. Is it really that big a deal? Okay, I'm going to hush now. My head hurts. And I'm going back to not reading the news because there are just things I don't need to ponder over. Bye. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going good in your life. Let me know what's going on. Some of our YouTube family of my subs, things aren't going real well. One of you has shingles. Oh, I so hate that. One of you just had a memorial for her husband who passed away. Had the memorial yesterday. I am so sorry. That is something really to be concerned over. And I hope you feel better. I hope the lady with shingles recovers soon. And those of you who have not had the shingles vaccine, Medicare will pay for it. If you're not opposed to vaccinations, please go get your shingles shot. Shingles is especially miserable. And I don't want that for anybody. Okay, bye. And again, I'm just saying these things I heard about in the news, I think are just crazy.